who work with us each day to make our classrooms safer and stronger. Welcome to you all. But most of all, I want to thank the students, families, and teachers who are here with us this afternoon, and those that are not, that work so hard every single day on behalf of our state and our kids. We know that the greatest gift we can give our next generation is an education that will open the doors of opportunity. I've always liked the saying that education is the great equalizer. And that's why with partners up here, we have fully funded our education system once again. We have raised teacher pay by $9,500 statewide since I took office. We've created an ongoing commitment in the state budget for school safety, in addition to multiple campus security grants approved in prior years. I'm proud that in this year's budget, we have increased funding dedicated to school safety to $68,760 per school. I know everyone here stands with us in that mission to ensure our students and faculty have a safe learning environment. And legislation I'll sign today will further that goal. But first, I will sign Senate Bill 1, a priority of both our Speaker and Lieutenant Governor, as well as many in their respective chambers. Like Marty and me, many of those who voted for this bill are parents. Like all Georgians, they want to protect their daughters and sons. They want them to grow up and compete in a fair environment, and they want them to know that political agendas will not dictate their lives. That's why SB 1 is so important, and it's why it builds off the step we took in prior years to ensure fairness on our playing fields. Sponsored by Senator Greg Dolezal and carried in the House by Representative Josh Bonner, this legislation prohibits both male and female from competing on teams designated for the opposite gender, and requires multiple occupancy restrooms, changing areas, and sleeping quarters be designated for the use exclusively by one gender. This common sense legislation is about what is fair and safe for our children. Girls should not have to share a playing field, a restroom, or a locker room with boys. I know I learned a lot of valuable lessons about life on the football field and the baseball diamond growing up. And it's not right to ask kids today to forego those lessons when facing someone biologically stronger and faster than them, or someone who cannot compete on the same level. That's why I'm proud to stand here with so many strong champions for our kids and sign this legislation today. Next, I'll sign House Bill 81, sponsored by Representative Bethany Ballard and carried in the Senate by Larry Walker. This bill establishes an interstate compact for school psychologists, helping ease the burden on these essential employees in our schools. We've seen an increased need to support the mental health of our students in recent years, and as the First Lady often says, it's okay not to be okay. We're working to make sure all Georgians know that is true, including our youngest. That's why our budget includes increased funding to improve the student-to-psychologist ratio at our schools, and it's why I'm proud to sign this legislation today. Next, I'll sign House Bill 307, sponsored by Representative Bethany Ballard again, and carried by Senator Billy Hickman in the Senate, which builds on the work of the Georgia Early Literacy Act. This bill consolidates existing statutory requirements on dyslexia screening so that we can reach students early and get them the assistance that they need. I'll also sign House Bill 235, sponsored by Representative Rick Townsend and carried in the Senate by Mike Hodges. The Georgia Supporting Living Donor Educators Act entitles public school employees and post-secondary employees to receive a leave of absence for donation of bone marrow or organs. Educators already do so much for our children and our state. It's only appropriate that we support those who experience these types of challenges and come alongside alongside them to provide encouragement. Next, I'll sign Senate Bill 82, sponsored by Senator Clint Dixon and carried by Representative Scott Hilton in the House. Charter schools have been instrumental in meeting the unique needs of individual learners and their families. And this bill will further the effort to give students the education choices that best fits that different need or strength by individualizing local boards of education to approve charter school petitions. It will also ensure those systems who unfairly attempt to shutter these school options cannot succeed in that endeavor. I will then sign Senate Bill 123, sponsored by President Pro Tem John Kennedy in the Senate and carried by Representative Matt Dubnick in the House. This is a critically important bill that addresses one of the most troubling trends we've encountered in recent years, chronic absenteeism. Once implemented, systems with chronic absenteeism rates of 10% or higher must establish an attendance review team to determine the underlying cause of that issue. Our children cannot learn if they are not in school, and I'm grateful to all of those who supported this bill to help us get to the bottom of this problem. Finally, as I mentioned earlier, I will sign House Bill 268, sponsored by Representative Holt Piersinger and carried by Senator Bill Cowser. I want to recognize and thank the families of Alyssa and Ricky, who are here with us and who advocated for portions of this bill to help keep our students safe. Thank you. We are beyond honored to have you all with us today. Thank you. Passing school safety legislation to build on the work that we've done in recent years was the top priority of the Lieutenant Governor, the Speaker, and many others this session. This bill accomplishes that by requiring schools to have up-to-date mapping and mobile panic alert systems, requiring student records to be transferred within 5 school business days so potential dangers can be addressed quickly, providing a student advocacy specialist grant program to reimburse districts for hiring that position, requiring local boards to offer an anonymous reporting program, and creating the offenses of terrorist threat of a school and terrorist act upon a school. Like I said, this is in addition to the multiple rounds of school safety grants we've sent out in prior years, and our legislation requiring schools to conduct safety audits. Ensuring the safety of all those in our schools is and will always be a top priority. House Bill 268 is just the latest measure we've taken to ensure that that remains the case. So I want to thank everyone who worked on this and thank those who work every day to advocate for the safety of our students, teachers, and faculty. Our kids deserve the best that we can give them, and these bills do just that. So again, I want to thank everyone who worked so hard on these and many across the state that did the same and stood up to the needs of our kids above all else. And one of those that did that in an incredible way this session is the Speaker of the House, the Honorable John Burns, who will now share some remarks. Speaker.
Well, good afternoon. Governor, as you know, it certainly is a good day to be a Georgian as we gather to affirm our long-lasting and ongoing commitment to the safety, success, and well-being of our future generations. Governor Kemp, to you and the First Lady, I want to thank you for not just your leadership, but your partnership, working with the members of the Senate and the House to ensure these most important bills got across the finish line. And they did. I want to thank 2 of my colleagues in the House, Representative Ballard, who has a continuing commitment to education, and Representative Townsend, who served a lifetime in education. Thank you for what y'all's bills are doing for us. But my comments will be focused more on two of our bills. Today's bill signings reiterate the dedication of the Georgia House and members of the General Assembly and Governor Brian Kemp to ensuring that every child has an opportunity to thrive in a safe and secure environment, both in the classroom and on the playing field. Last September, as we all remember, our state witnessed an unimaginable tragedy when 4 Georgians were lost at Appalachia High School at the hands of an individual whose intent was to carry out a despicable and horrific act of evil. After that tragic day, the House made it our top priority to champion measures that strengthen school security, mandate stronger communications between school districts, and increase student access to mental health resources, and that's exactly what House Bill 268 accomplishes. This legislation, House Bill 268, is the direct result of countless hours of conversation and collaboration between our House members, law enforcement, school administrators, parents, teachers, and yes, students. And I'm confident that the policies and resources established by House Bill 268 will save lives, some that we will never even know we saved, by providing the critical resources for our students when they need them the very most. I want to thank my colleague, Representative Holt Persinger. Holt, thank you for your work. And House Education Chair, Chairman Chris Irwin. Thank you to both of you. For their tireless work, and I assure you it was tireless work that both of you put in your dedication to getting both of these measures across the finish line. It's certainly a bill that we can be proud of, and every Georgian can be proud of, I believe, that will have a positive impact on our state for generations yet to come. Our children, as we all know, are our future, and their future begins with our education system. We've taken steps to secure our school buildings, as the governor said, provide continued funding for school safety measures, and strengthen educational opportunities in every corner of this great state. This year, we also took steps to ensure our children have an opportunity for fair and safe athletic competition. I was honored to travel to Washington to join President Trump at the White House earlier this year as he signed an executive order preventing biological males from competing in women's sports. In just a few moments, those same federal protections will be codified here in Georgia under the Riley-Gaines Act, ensuring that no young woman is ever forced to face a biological male on the field, on the court, or in the locker room. This issue is not about right or left, it's about right and wrong. And the Georgia House was proud to take a stand to restore common sense and fairness for female athletes in our state. Thank you, Representative Chairman Josh Bonner, for your dedicated work, for leading the way in crafting this legislation, and to Riley-Gaines as well for lending us her support in this effort. I want to thank all my colleagues and thank all gathered here today for their support on our efforts in legislation that makes Georgia the best place to do what we all know, to live, work, and raise a family. And I want to ask our great, good God if he'll continue to bless this great state of Georgia. Governor Kemp.
All I got to say to that is amen, Speaker Burns. Let's sign these bills. Congratulations, everybody.
We're going to sign Senate Bill 1 first. So if you are an advocate for Senate Bill 1, if you'll please come right over here and we'll file you in. If you're a bill sponsor, if you'll kind of get behind the table, or one of our leadership members.
Go ahead. If you're here for House Bill 81, if you could please come over here to my right. Advocates, if you are not here for House Bill 81, if you'll exit that way over there, please. Thank you. If you're here for House Bill 307, if you want to make your way over here to my right. All right, advocates, if you are not here for 81, if you're here for House Bill 307, advocates, if you'll start to fill in.
House Bill 235, you are next if you want to make your way over here to the right. All right. Our next bill is House Bill 235. 307, if y'all want to transition out that way, unless your purse is over here, you can come over here and get your purse. Doc Rhett, are you here? Senate Bill 82, you are next if you want to make your way over here to the right. Our next bill is Senate Bill 82. If you're not in that, if you want to transition over there to the left. Y'all go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Go on this side.
This side? My car? Okay.
Y'all want to go around to the
Well, they got.